Alright, welcome to your no-nonsense guide on how to play Tracer in Season 17 and beyond. So, this is a pretty lengthy guide, I will not lie. This is a 30-something minute video, I don't know. Um, but it is going to be very informational and very, very in-depth, and I do go over a sort of VOD. I kind of cut it a bit, because I kind of talk a lot, honestly, but I kind of don't want to like spare any detail. I do want to talk about pretty much like everything I can sort of talk about because I want this to be like a high quality, relatively or very detailed video when it comes to sort of like playing Tracer and how you can play it. So we're going to be talking about staging, positioning, and sort of decision making, right? Because all of the times I could just like, or in general, you could just make a video about how to play Tracer and how to like have good mechanics and stuff, right? I could talk about how you can aim for however long, but I kind of want to focus on what I think Tracer's strength is, and I think it's a lot of the macro aspects. So in the VOD sort of part, we're going to be talking about macro, and at the start, we're going to be talking about the micro, blink punches, blinks in general. The micro part is not as in-depth, I think. It sort of is for like new players that are like newer to Tracer, so I would suggest if you have played Tracer a good amount and you're pretty good with the micro, you can skip the micro part where you know it's the micro is essentially like I'm talking about the aim, the blink punches, and just blinking in general. Now this is only in like Vaxta and stuff because I don't really have like someone to use as like an example, so use that if you're like newer. I would suggest watching that part if you're new to Tracer, but if you're pretty seasoned, again, skip forward to sort of like the VOD part. That's where we're gonna sort of get into like the meat of the video. I believe that VOD was like, that game was like a GM like 4-ish average rank, or like a little bit lower. It's like Masters to GM 4. But the whole point is that I kind of wanted to give everyone a look at sort of just like playing Tracer and that sort of elo. I'm not the best Tracer in the world, obviously, but I currently am like GM3 right now on the leaderboard. You can check it in Overwatch if you want, but I'll put my rank on screen, so you know I kind of have like some credibility, but I pretty much play like every role in the game. This is just sort of my Tracer guide, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, welcome to the mechanics part of the video. So today we're going to be talking about the Tracer mechanics, right? Later on, we'll talk about the gameplay, the macro, and all that kind of stuff. But let's go into the micro, and let's talk about sort of combos that you might need to know to play Tracer. So, what you want to do is you want to go into customs, and you want to get aim training and warm up by Seda. This is a really common one. You don't have to use this one. It's Vaxta, so you can favorite it. You can use the code. Just have some sort of aim trainer that you can sort of play before you play comp, and I typically like using Vaxa. Vaxa is a little laggy though. There's like a different there's a different code that's a little bit less laggy. So if you really want to know the code, just let me know in the comments, but this is kind of what I use for now. Alright, so we're gonna just start warm up, and we're gonna just play some Tracer. So just a quick run through for Vaxa. You have your settings at the top. You can change them to whatever you want. So if it's too hard for you, lower it, right? Practice at a difficulty that is right for you. Don't practice at hard 100% if you're just gonna be like whiffing like on everything. If you're not really gonna be like hitting everything, play on a mode that like works better for your hand, and it feels like better for you, because you don't want to play on settings that just don't really feel good, right? So the first thing we'll talk about is sort of your general just tracking, right? Now tracking, you know, what you want to do is you want to just practice like basic stuff where you just stand still, right? And then you just track. So just stand still to start and track. Make sure you don't make your sort of like aim practice really complex. You don't need to like, you don't want to just like start like doing tricks and stuff like crazy like this, where you just like blink around like 500 times and you just try to like track everything. Just be slow with it and just like track. You can stand still and track. I like doing this when I'm like, you know, first playing the game for the first time in the day, because if you think about it, right, look at what happens when you move and you track. So when you move and you track, you're actually not really aiming that much, because you're kind of moving with the enemy a lot of times, right? So it actually means you have to aim less, I think. That's at least what I think. So I like just that still, and it makes my aim a lot more stable and stuff. Obviously, yeah, you know, when you're moving and they're moving, you know, you kind of have to aim more sometimes, but you can practice your like raw aim more when you just stand still. So you can practice your raw tracking like this, right? And once you're comfortable with your aim and you're like, okay, my aim kind of feels good, you feel warmed up, that's great. So now you want to practice sort of the basic mechanics of like blink punch, right? Now this is sort of, actually, let's talk about blinks first. So when you blink, you want to understand where the target is when you blink, right? So you want to keep your crosshair on the target and then micro twist. So when I blink, I keep my target there, right? And I can track my target after I blink. So I'm blinking, and like even if I don't have the exact placement of where they are, I don't lose them. That's the main thing, is that when you're playing Tracer, you don't want to just lose a target. So you want to practice your blinks like this, because it's really important, especially when you're blinking through people and you're trying to like blink behind them. You want to make sure it's good, because otherwise you're gonna be just like, you're gonna be blinking like, and you're gonna be like, where did the Genji go? Or you're gonna be blinking and then you're gonna like take forever to correct. If you play it in Baxa, you get really good sort of practice where you can practice your blinks, and you know, people won't get lost, you won't be losing your enemies. Next thing is blink punch. So blink punch, very basic, right? Your melee does 40 damage. So what you want to do is there's different sort of styles you can do for blink punching. You can get someone low, you can blink back, but this uses more blinks, right? So you can use a blink where you go, for instance, I'm going to go for this Ana, right? So you blink, and then you can go forward, and you can blink pass to sort of get distance of 2 blinks while also getting the melee. Or what you could do is you can do blink and then go back. Now, this lets you get a quick melee, and it uses 2 blinks, so it's kind of costly, but it allows you to sort of get that 40 extra damage, so you're doing more raw damage, rather than wasting your bullets to do 40 extra damage. You use 2 blinks instead, 1 forward, 1 back, and then you can sort of like combo them, and then you can like go around, so you can go like that. You don't have to go exactly forward and backwards, but you know, your goal is to sort of get more damage with blink punches and be comfortable with them. So try to practice this a lot, because in Tracer 1v1s, look how much HP we have, right? We have 175 HP, and 40 damage is a good chunk of your HP bar. So if you're able to get good at blink punches, you can try to get good at Tracer 1v1s. And Tracer 1v1s revolve a lot around sort of blink punching, and all of the times it could come down to who's better at blink punching. So definitely try to practice blink punching and get really good at it, because it's really, really useful, and at a high level, it's just you need it essentially. It helps you finish off targets, and like again, right? 2 blink punches is 80 damage. Oops. Oh my god. Yeah, 80. So yeah, it's really important to know and practice. The pulse bomb mechanics, the best way to put it is like, pulse bomb is a really hard ability to sort of use. But typically it's better to use it when you're really close. Don't like Kobe it like that. I love doing this, honestly, where you just like try to Kobe it and throw it on someone. But usually it's like better if you like go close. So you can do the thing where you just blink into someone, you get close, and then you do that. Or you can blink. Oops, I think I broke my wrist. You can try to like do that where you want to blink through them and then you like bomb. That can work, but sort of just choose what works for you, what works better. But the main thing is you're practicing your blink punches, and you're practicing those Tracer 1v1s. So if you know a good Tracer player, it really helps to just 1v1 them on Tracer and practice your Tracer 1v1s, because a lot of the times it's really, really useful to play it against a really good Tracer, and even if you're getting like destroyed by them, that's sort of how you're going to learn how to play Tracer and get better in those 1v1s, because those 1v1s are really, really important. If you can win those 1v1s, you can sometimes win the game, because Tracer right now is just really, really strong in Season 16. Actually, what season is this? Yeah, or 17. Yeah, season 17. Um, so yeah, learn how to be good with blink punches, and it'll help you a lot. And I think that's kind of it for the mechanics section. So yeah, let's get into the game. So why is TP important, right? So think about it like this. Um, look at what both teams are doing. If we turn the overlay on, both teams are using TP. Now, why do both teams use TP? Well, you'll see why, right? Both teams use TP. Slurper uses it, and I use it, right? So, the reason why you use TP is obviously to get to the point quicker. Now, why does it matter in competitive? Now, this is sort of like a high-ish rank, right? So, well, this is pretty much just top 500 as of now. So, the reason why you TP is because it gives you the advantage on control. On control maps like Antarctic, Lijiang, Nepal especially, it's really, really good to play Sim for like 1 second and then TP out the doors if you're going to play Tracer. It's really important you get to the point fast because you can sort of exert pressure quicker and you can deny sort of space faster, right? So you can see we're kind of getting here at the same time. They arrive a little bit before us. But the core idea is sort of there, if they don't have TP, we arrive much quicker, and that's sort of what you can do in your games, right? If you sort of are on Tracer, and you in your rank, maybe people don't do the TP. A lot of people don't do that in like Plat and Diamond, I'm pretty sure. But if you do that, that could give your team the edge on, the first fight because you can take more space that way if they're not there, right? So that's just something to consider and think about when you're playing Tracer. Or Genji, or even Soldier, and I do that when I play Hitscan. But yeah. Alright, so now we talked about that, let's talk about the sort of pre-fight setup and sort of like staging and what we're going to sort of look to do, right? Now, there's two sort of scenarios in games. What you never want to do as Tracer, or Flex DPS in general, I would say, is sort of like perma play with your tank the entire game. It's always good to look for angles. Now, I'm over here on this left side, and I'm looking for an angle on their backline, so I'm going to try to like walk over here and just like pressure them as best as I can, and that's kind of my goal. And one of the biggest things is that I just don't want to die. Dying is really, really bad when you're playing Tracer because you're essentially just like losing all the pressure that I could be applying to their team, like applying pressure here and stuff, and like making them like really concerned. And the other thing you could do is mark their Tracer, right? So I could also play this side, try to skirmish the Tracer here, try to force a recall. Because now when we're on opposite sides, it means that I have to sort of try to trade backlines kind of better. I need to be able to like do more than their Tracer. But yeah. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing is I'm here on the map, right? Now my Orisa is walking forward, and their Tracer is sort of like in our backline doing stuff, but I'm also just trying to pressure and help her a little bit. We did push their team kind of back, so I'm kind of like in a angle I can't really do much here, but essentially I'm just going to play to just shoot their backline here and just like spam them because that soldier had rail, try to shoot me. Here, in this scenario we can't really do much, right? So the next thing to do is like, yeah, could I go forward and could I try to ape this? Yeah, I can. Sorry, that was my Discord. Bro, I'm recording this map. Okay, so anyway, what I want to look to do here is I'm gonna look to go on their Tracer. So I see that, okay, we got their soldier in, their main damage is dead. The next step is, instead of going for this, yeah, could I potentially kill this? Maybe, right? But again, it's an Orisa, it's, two supports that are stuck together. Who is the isolated one that, could potentially do something is their Tracer. Tracer is really strong this season, and in general, you just want to make sure that this point is, like, secure. This Tracer should be, like, running away, but this Tracer decides to stay, and, she just, like, dies like that. I just wanted to make sure that we secure that kill, just in case. Other play could have been to go for this play, but that's just something to think about when you're playing. Okay, so we also want to think about the macro perspective of the entire map, right? When we're playing Tracer, we want to understand sort of like micro things, like how to do blink punches, how to like, do Tracer 1v1, stuff like that. But I kind of want to talk about, I don't think this video is going to go too much into it. I do fight the Tracer once in a while, but I mostly kind of just make plays, I guess, and I like hold, or I go behind and flank and stuff. So what I do here is we make a call to like go on their backline or something, right? So what I'm going to be doing is I go left, right, because I'm already on the point, and all I do is I just shoot them, right? So just shoot them, and we can go in a little bit deeper here. We have recall, right? So we try to get this. Obviously we're probably not going to be able to get it. I'll go deeper, and I just recall, and then we just make sure to get out. So one of the biggest things to do is when you're backing up, this is sort of like a small thing. Don't turn away, and don't like look at your enemies when you're running away. Don't try to face or run away from them and like turn the opposite direction, like turn this way. Don't do that. It's really bad because you kind of just obviously won't see where they are, and if they're shooting you, you want to dodge bullets, and you have blinks, right? So keep that in mind when you're sort of like playing literally anything, not just Tracer. Okay, so now we're in, fast forward a little bit. Essentially, we kind of want to fight, and their Weaver is dead. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to think about, well, how are they going to sort of retake this area, right? What is their going to Tracer do? What am I going to do? So if I'm on Tracer, I'm thinking, like, if I'm on the blue team, I'm like, okay, well, I need to go through this left rim. I need to sort of try to take an angle on the backline. I need to try to create some space for my team. I need to try to pressure their backline, so they're pressured to like back up. I want to get this Cass, and like I want him to help this Weaver or something like that. So there's less pressure on this sort of like front line, right? Because if we stay here, we're just gonna like shoot them and spam them as they walk up, and Tracer is really good at sort of making it so you can pressure the backline and create space, does that make sense? So when I'm playing Tracer, I want to make it so it's hard for them to sort of walk up. For their Tracer, I want to try to mark their Tracer, right? So I want to make sure their Tracer isn't just killing our backline for free. So here, I don't really know if I win this or not, but I'm just trying to fight her. But like, the main thing is that I'm not really trying to like kill her. I'm mostly just trying to get her off of my team. Killing her is like not really a big thing. Killing her is like really big, right? But you don't have to like perma go for the kill. You don't have to be like kill hungry. You just have to like look to mark. And looking to mark doesn't mean killing, right? You mark them, you can force recall, you can kill them, whatever. Just make it so they're not going on your backline. That's like the main thing. So here, we're just looking. I can't really kill the Tracer here, right? So I'm kind of just playing this like left room, and I'm not trying to like sort of commit, because I don't really need to like hard commit into their team here. I kind of was trying to aim for the Weaver, I'm gonna be so for real. But this happened instead, so kill this. Just be wary of like times when you're like in really enclosed places, because you can't sometimes you just randomly get headshotted if you just blink into a room with 3 people. So yeah. Okay, I think this is one of the times where I like do like a Tracer kind of 1v1-ish, but I'm kind of just marking the Tracer again. So we're just shooting, and that's sort of just like the blink punch stuff, right? There's different ways you can play it. The way I like doing it sometimes is I let them like, I predict their blink punch in, and then as they do their blink punch, I blink backwards, and then I shoot them. I get a little bit of poke damage that way, and then after that, I like press the attack, and then I poke them more, and then I blink punch in. That's kind of what I did. So I recall, this guy recalls, right? So here, a bunch of stuff is going on. They use window, and I'm like, oh, I need to get out of here. So yeah, could I have stayed in? Maybe, but the thing is, like, when you're defending, you want to play to live, and you want to make sure you're just living as best as you can, because we're defending the point right now. Our main goal is to just stall until it's like, well, until it's 99 essentially, and then win a singular fight, and then win the round, right? So always play for life, always live when you're playing Tracer. That's like one of the best things you can do. Okay, so now we're in OT. They walk through, right? And we want to do something. So we see they use tree, we use tree. So who do we sort of go for? Well, we want to be looking for the most killable character. So I would say, at least for me, I decided to focus the Life Weaver here. So, um, the Tracer is there. Can we try to go for her? Yeah, I definitely could, but it's more beneficial for us to just, kill their Weaver. We want to look for the supports, obviously. So I see the Tracer here. I'm like, I could go for her, but it's like I'm just like, okay, that's just not worth it. Let's just look for this Weaver. Shooting Weaver platform is like really good. And this like really like scrappy fight, it's really hard to see because it's like you're playing like Slenderman 8 pages. Like you're going through trees, you're looking for pages and stuff. Because there's like, look at this, like look how stupid this looks like. There's just like 2 trees here, like it looks so dumb. But you have to just try to like keep track of stuff when fights get really scrappy, and the better you are at that, the better you're able to like capitalize off of those like really, really scrappy fights. And here, we're focusing this Weaver, and we're just looking to get their Weaver. Next, we look for the SPAP, right? Now, we can stick, yeah, they have Lamp, that's literally whatever. The issue is, like, when you hear the cast ult, because there's a cast behind me, I think, ulting, we just want to recall early because we don't really want to just randomly die to it. I could blink to the side maybe and like keep it, but in the moment I decided to commit recall there, and I don't know, but he just randomly doesn't have it anymore. I think he just popped it. But like again, right? Living is important. Like look at sort of like timer, right? Are we pressured to stay on point, or are they pressured to stay on point, right? It's more so their pressure to stay on. We're 99 to 0, so what do? I just leave. I just leave, and I just take the HP pack. Right? And it's like, yeah, is our tank dead? Sure. But it's like, it's okay. Yeah, we lose this part, we lose the point, I can't really do anything. But the thing is like, I'm just not really dying. I did what I could, I tried to like go for a play. But sometimes, your tank won't be able to just live because there's no, like, we didn't have supports that fight, I think, towards the end. So, you just try to play around the HP packs and try to, like, live. And if you can get out, you can get out, It's really good practice to just play for your life. And, I don't think I mentioned it, but later on in this, like, video, well, throughout this entire match, I haven't died once. And this is one of the reasons why. We're not going in for, like, a crazy trade because they're going to obviously win this fight. They committed ults, we committed ults, we lost sort of like that ult exchange, but, we just continue to play. Okay, so now we're going in for our last-ish fight. So we win this fight, we win the round, right? So what my goal is I want to off-angle, I want to go from main, and I want to take an angle here on their sort of support. I want to kind of like exert some pressure on their backline. I kind of want to just like play here. And I kind of want to look for just some damage. I can get some chip damage. And then, if there's a, if our tank goes in or we get some sort of random headshot, then I can go in on this BAP or whoever is like low, right? So here, I'm just going to 2x it. You can see their cast is there. So I'm not really trying to like play up front and then try to blink into this guy. You can play around the cover, right? So I decided to play cover here. And you can see like here, all I'm doing is like, I'm not even like trying to like explode someone per se. The Lucio's really low, but like I'm not really going for like a hard commit, right? Here, like I see the Lucio. Okay, the Lucio is one shot. Let's go for this guy. And I like low-key whiff on this guy. Thank God someone broke lamp. Also, another sort of like tip on Tracer is you don't have to like use your entire clip at once if you're gonna miss it. All of the times, at least for me personally, if your aim is better, by all means, use your entire clip. But at least for me, I don't like using my entire clip when I play Tracer sometimes because I just don't feel like I'm going to hit it. So I just use like a few bullets. I don't use the entire thing. So maybe that could help you if you're sort of finding it, if you're finding consistency a little bit hard for Tracer, that might be something you can sort of look into. Okay, so we're in that sort of same scenario, right? where it's like, oh, okay, well, I want to go for their like backline, right? So I'm gonna look over here, and let's look at sort of the free cam, and let's look at the map, right? So zooming out, we can see that both tracers are sort of doing the exact same thing. Now our cast randomly dies. I don't know how, but the main thing is there. The main idea is we're looking for control of sort of this side, and we're taking this duel here because we want to flank around each other's team and we want to try to pressure the backline. And that's sort of what both tracers are doing. Now, what I'm trying to do as well is like obviously both of us are fighting for that sort of chance to go for the backline. So we fight each other and we kind of just mark each other. So you can see that we're sort of like losing. We don't really have that damage on the front line, so our team has to sort of like back out a lot. And when it comes to that sort of like tracer 1v1, it kind of matters as well. Obviously, who's better, sort of like in the tracer sort of fight, along with like which team is winning. Because the faster their team wins, the quicker the enemy tracer gets help, right? So I try to look for this guy. I can't finish him. He's really low. And I go to this mega over here, and they get first cap. That's just something to think about. So again, on defense, the main idea is like playing for playing to live, right? So we're playing to live. We're not really playing. Okay, I accidentally just like blink off the bat. Sometimes that happens. So, we're playing to live. We're not really playing to just perma win the fight, because like worst case scenario is that I just like explode and like die. And I just use recall off the map, so I want to just like play like conservative with my HP. I do end up taking this duel and like end up winning, but like the main thing is like you just live, right? The more you're living, the more percentage you're getting as long as you're capping. When you don't have control of a point on control, then that's when you have to sort of make those plays. You have to make stuff like happen, and you have to sort of be more aggressive, right? So here, I kind of see like a lot of things. I'm like, okay, well, I could hit a pulse here maybe. I could like look for a pulse. I thought the cast would be a little bit more left, but I kind of like with. Cast still dies anyway, and I sort of like play with this. So, I look for their tank. I'm just shooting their back. Recall, and we just finish your tank off. And they don't get a flip, right? That's like the really important part. See, this entire time while they're fighting, you see how they're like capping. They have like cap percentage on our point. We are holding the point while this is happening. So that's kind of like an important thing to think about as well, is like sort of point flipping and what happens when you let the point flip. Now in this match that hasn't really happened, but when you're playing Tracer, if you can stall it out and you can stop a point flip, it could really make the difference in the game, because that means, when you have control of the point, you want to stall it out as much as possible without letting it flip, because the moment you let it flip, they get control of it and they can just AFK on it forever, and your team is forced to do something to get the point back into control. And usually that means you have to use ults and stuff to sort of like flip that control, unless you're getting like a crazy pick. Okay, so same thing, right? Marking Tracer, figuring out where the Tracer is. So I think in this match, at least I realized later on that this Tracer was over here instead of playing left. Because like normally I would just go left, right? The Tracer would perma meet me on left, but this time I was like, okay, I don't see their Tracer. I think I asked for where Tracer was, and we end up on this sort of same side, right? So now what's gonna happen is we're gonna just try to look for this Tracer. I'm like looking, where is she? Okay, she's right there. We look. So that's sort of another thing you should think about as well, is like getting to the mega or the HP pack first, because look, I'm full HP, she tried to go for the pack and now she has no recall. So I could chase this, I could try to go for the kill, but she has no recall, so like it doesn't make sense for her to really push. So I go to fight her, I kind of lose her, which it really sucks, right? But it's okay. It is okay. So here, I immediately am like, where's the Tracer, right? Where's the Tracer? Where's the Tracer? The Tracer set up left, or is trying to go left for the touch, right? It's 88. We're at 88, and it's ticking down. I mean, their Orisa can touch, but it's gonna obviously be harder. So it's usually down to the tracer that touches. So it's identifying who is touching and where they're touching from. And if you can deny the touch and you can force sort of resources like a recall before they touch, then it makes it all the more like harder for them to sort of maintain that sort of like that touch, I guess, because then this tracer probably can't touch again, right? So anyway, I got left here, and you can see I'm just like fighting her a little bit. And now, instead of going for the touch from that side, she has to go from under. And now I'm just smashing again. And I'm just looking for the tracer here.
Life protects life.
Going for the HP pack. And then we're kind of looking for a target to kill. We see the Venture. Go for the Venture. We want to live. We look for the Lucio. And I'm kind of looking for stuff, and I'm just AFK. So, yeah, that is essentially it. I did want to talk about more concepts, I guess, but this video is already around 30-something minutes long. I didn't want to make it too long, but this is sort of the best way for me to just get all my ideas out and to try to explain Tracer as best as possible. So I hope you guys were able to learn something from this video. Please like and subscribe. I put a good amount of effort into making this kind of content, and it'll let me know that you guys enjoy this content and you want more educational content that, you know, can help you rank up from whatever rank you're in. And definitely follow my Twitch, because I always stream there every other day. Usually I'm pretty active, so you'll get to see Overwatch gameplay, and I play a bunch of other stuff. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Have a great one.